Loren Pasquier, tell us a bit about your exhibition, Wahine.
Kia ora. Well, the exhibition is currently at the Refinery Artspace in Nelson, and it's actually here in Whakatu that it started 2 years ago. The first exhibition was here. It was held in Founders Park, and it was meant to be the only exhibition featuring 4 wahine from the local region, but it was such a success, and the way it was received by people was quite powerful and touching, and so I decided to keep the kaupapa going and to tour it around the country. So for the last 2 years it has slowly been touring around Te Waipunamu, the South Island of New Zealand.
That's fantastic. What kind of response have you had this time around?
In Nelson, well, I've heard that the exhibition has actually been quite full and had a steady flow every day coming through. I think I will actually be coming this Saturday for between 10 and 2 so that I can welcome people in and talk to them, and I guess I'll see how many people are coming through, but I think it's quite a popular day.
And you finish the exhibition, finishes when?
It finishes on the 19th of February. And so we have about a week left, so you're welcome to come through. And now we have 8 women featuring in the exhibition.
Tell us a little bit about the women you featured.
Well, you have on my right here, we have the 4 initial wahine that were part of the exhibition, and then on this one we have women from mainly from Ngāi Tahu, so that are basically, they've joined the journey as the exhibition travels around the country. So in Christchurch, Ototahi, there is Dame Aroha, who joined the kaupapa, and then as it went along to Dunedin in Otepoti, I have Phyllis, who joined the exhibition with her portrait, and then Maria Aroha, who comes from Bluff, and she joined when the exhibition moved to Invercargill. And
so it's interesting that you are of French origin, and yet you're out here promoting our Maori Wahine. How did this happen?
Well, a lot of factors, but when I arrived in New Zealand, which was about 3.5 years ago, everything was quite fresh, and something that jumped to my eyes quite quickly was the gap and the wound between Maori and Pākehā, and the way that communication exists or doesn't exist. And I thought that perhaps there was something that I could do with the few skills I have in art and in anthropology, and try to gather also all of this plus my sensitivity. And this idea came together, and I had lots of conversation with Wahine Māori to know if I could make it happen or not. And overall I think that it's because I'm aware of the privileges that I have as a Pākehā woman, a French woman, I believe it's important for me to use them as a springboard for bringing about change here. So that's how it came about.
Great. And so you obviously saw that there is a change to be needed. What was that? What was the most glaringly obvious for you where that change needed to take place?
Well, I think that something that can have a dramatic change in a positive way is that people actually embrace being vulnerable and embracing the fact that we might not know what's the best way to how to communicate, or we are afraid as Pākehā to make mistakes or to be culturally incorrect, and therefore we don't take any actions at all and we don't engage in these conversations. But I think that if we're ready to make these mistakes and to be honest about it and vulnerable and be a student, then the dialogue can actually happen, and these conversations can have lots of ripple effects. That's what I think. The exhibition is here for another week, and then it will move on to Hokitika just to finish the Te Waipunamu tour, and then in a few months, starting late June, it will move to the North Island and tour for another 1.5 to 2 years, welcoming another 8 wahine from the North Island. So that's something to look forward to. And if you want to follow us on social media, you can look up The Woven Women and you'll be able to see the portraits coming, as well as on our podcast, also called The Woven Women, so that you'll be able to listen to the portraits coming up in the next few months. Kia ora.
Well, that's fantastic, Loren, and thank you so much for helping us see that there is a gap. That's
Kia ora.
very important. Kia ora.